Prime Ticket and the Prime Network present some of the world's outstanding adventure athletes performing in diverse California settings in their quest for the edge. Welcome to another exclusive Prime Ticket presentation of California Ultrasport. From Long Beach, California, the 42nd annual Catalina Ski Race. From around the globe, the best skiers in the world with the most exotic equipment have gathered for the ultimate challenge on the water. This program is brought to you by American Airlines, something special in the air. Try American Airlines for your next trip to Europe. And by O'Neill, official clothing of the California Ultra Sport Series. By First Interstate Bank, we go the extra mile for you. And by Coors, a proud sponsor of the Catalina Water Ski Race. And by Hornblower Dining Yachts, the official VIP boat.
It's the friendliest territory there is. First Interstate Bank territory, where thousands of people are ready to help you with your banking needs. Because only First Interstate has offices in more cities and states than any other bank system. So whether you're in your hometown or traveling out of town, come to First Interstate Bank and discover how nice it is to have a bank that can go the extra mile for you.
K-Earth 101.
K-Earth 101, your oldie station.
K-Earth 101.
Welcome to Long Beach, California, home of the Queen Mary, the Spruce Goose, and one of the most interesting and challenging sporting events found anywhere in the world. Hi, I'm your host, Paul Sunderland, and welcome to Prime Ticket's coverage of the Catalina Open Ocean Ski Race. 62 miles round trip from Long Beach to Catalina and back. Speeds in excess of 85 miles an hour. Sharks, flying fish, ocean liners, tankers. A tremendous challenge out there once again on the open ocean. Very happy to have working with me today as my color expert, Rick Fuscardo. And Rick, it's a beautiful day here in Long Beach. I've got my sunscreen on, but the ski racers are certainly going to face some unique challenges.
That's absolutely right, Paul. This This is the greatest race there is, and one of the worst things they're facing and going to face today is the open ocean. They've got, at the island right now, there's a 2-mile-an-hour wind, which makes it very calm. The weather conditions are very smooth for them. When they left here, they're going to have to face a lot of boat wakes and have to deal with a lot of spectator boats in the channel. That'll slow them down a little bit. The return trip after they get to Catalina will be much faster, and it'll be a great race.
All right, we're looking forward to that. We have racers here once again from all over the world, as young as 8 years old and as old as 67. Also happy to have working with us today Dan Stiel, race director. This race has really gone down in history as the most prestigious in all of water skiing. How did that come about?
Well, Paul, the race actually started way back in 1934 when a brawny Long Beach fireman by the name of Frank Sanderman took a sled-like thing called an aquaplane from Avalon to Hermosa Beach. Now, nobody remembers what Frank's time was, but from that, the Catalina ski race was born. And in 1949, they started what we now know as the Catalina ski race, and it has grown to be truly the most prestigious race in all of the sport.
Months of preparation and hard work, physical, mechanical. These are the last few quiet moments for drivers, navigators, and ski racers. Dan adjusting their equipment just slightly. The calm of the back bay at Long Beach Harbor. Clearly the conditions will be changing out in the open ocean.
They're getting ready for probably what is going to be the ultimate challenge for these skiers.
There once again we get a good look at the California hornblower as the VIPs and press and media pile on board. A huge crowd on hand in anticipation of the start of this race, and obviously, Dan, one of the most famous landmarks in all of the world now,
That's
the Queen
right.
Mary, and the boats are lined up for the start. Dan, describe this setting, a very, very crucial part of this race.
We have over 100 of the world's best offshore boats lined up in the harbor this morning. But we talked to Rose Johnson yesterday about her challenges in winning this race for a fourth time.
It was probably really easy, and then I took a fall, and that slowed things down a little bit. We had enough of a lead to get back up after not going a little unconscious and having a few black eyes, but we were able to get up and have enough time to get going. And as we turned the island, then we met with the other two girls, which are the two top competitors, and we raced 3 abreast from the island all the way back into the breakwater, and the 2 of us remained. One fell back, and it was a 11-second difference to the finish, so it was a little more exciting. The last 2 years have been like that. We've had down-to-the-minute finishes, or second times.
And we also talked to Kurt Schoen, who is considered today's favorite to win the men's open.
Before the race, I just told my crew to get us to the island, hopefully in the top 5, and then and we'll ski tough coming home and kind of find out what everybody's doing. And luckily, Gary Tallman took a crash coming home. We got it to lead a little earlier than we wanted to, so we just kind of held on and came through.
And there is big, bad, and beautiful Mr. Terrible. He'll be pulling Kurt Schoen in quest of his 3rd consecutive victory, 4th overall. Dan, we are about ready for the start.
This skier, Kurt Schoen, is certainly confident in winning his 4th Catalina ski race.
Huge crowd on hand at the Viscount Hotel, race headquarters. Thousands of people on the beach. They were here at the crack of dawn in anticipation of this great event, watching the boats being loaded into the water.
And it looks like they've started, Paul. These boats are lined up in a 1.5 mile grid. They've got to get going, get up, and squeeze through a 3/4 mile opening in the Long Beach breakwater. You can imagine that the butterflies are churning. These skiers want to get out of the harbor alive.
But they want to get out quickly, also safely. This is a little bit like changing lanes on the San Diego freeway at rush hour. There are 100 boats here creating multiple wakes. They want to get out quickly but safely.
You bet. This is one of the toughest parts of the race right here. The harbor is going to be churning from the wakes of these boats up front. These skiers want to get out and get going.
We know that out in the open ocean, and look how close together skier is to opposing boat here as they move through the channel.
You bet. These guys don't want to fall here, that's for sure. We have skiers ranging in age from 8 to 68 years old.
as we do spectators as well. And that's their view of the start. There you see some of the observation helicopters, huge crowd on shore, lots of the spectator boats out in the channel getting as close as they possibly can to this action. And our early leader, Mark Pickering, boat number 157, shoots into the lead quickly as they pass the breakwater.
Mark is an Australian who has a great reputation for power and speed back home. He's going to try to show these skiers who is the best.
One thing that we should note already is that, see the boat, his boat number 157, flying through the chop. Tough conditions here, and they're so close to shore. It will be very, very difficult to go after a record here today.
You better believe it. As Rick mentioned earlier, the conditions skiing out to the island are a little rougher than the conditions coming back, and you can see Mark is already taking a pounding in this early part of the race.
What's going through Mark Pickering's mind right now? He seems to have carved out a bit of a lead, although we see boat number 62 also coming into our picture. I think that's one of our senior skiers, and quite a surprise to see this close company to Mark Pickering from that level of class.
Well, Mark has got to feel good. He's out front early part of the race. He's beat the traffic out of the harbor, and so that gives him a little bit smoother skiing conditions than what the other skiers will be facing. That looks like Lee Squire is making a nice run coming out of the harbor too. Lee's been in the race a number of times and has a nice start. Let's see what Lee does later on in the race.
And here comes boat number 4, Marty Wells, a rookie last year, finished third, and coming right up on Mark Pickering getting into the action.
This looks like a good place for Marty as well. He's being pulled behind a beautiful 36-foot fountain, one of the great offshore powerboat racers. Jim Duvall is driving that boat. He's a seasoned offshore powerboat racer, has had a great season in the Popra Racing Series, and is taking a nice position early in this race.
These two boats, Pickering and Wells, seem to have carved out a bit of a lead. There we see not only a driver, but navigator and spotter. What sort of teamwork is imperative here early on in the race?
Paul, the teamwork is absolutely essential to succeed in the Catalina ski race. The driver has got to mark the course properly and steer that boat through and around the obstacles that they'll be facing. That observer has to read the conditions of the water and try to keep that boat going at a speed that is right for the skier.
Marty Wells, although he's bouncing out of the water in the early going in this race, seems to have perfect form, leaning back in what I've come to understand is called the Australian hold. One hand behind the back, the other on the in front of the body on the rope. Can you describe that technique for us?
The Australian style keeps the weight off the arms and allows these skiers to ski longer and ski faster.
Even this with this advanced technique, you can see both of our skiers, Mark Pickering at the top of your screen and Marty Wells at the bottom. Dead even now. Marty Wells moving ahead. Lots of pressure here in the early racing.
The Australian is trying to beat the local boy from Colton, California, and it looks like Marty is pulling out in front.
Marty Wells looks like he's got the Australian hold of a rocket as he bursts out into a substantial lead here.
This is a nice move for Marty. He will capture the best water during these rugged first 30 miles of the race.
What a great sight off the coast of Long Beach. Marty Wells again, third last year. One of the favorites this year bursts into the early lead, looking so strong, smooth, again in choppy conditions.
That's right. The water is definitely choppy out there today. Those clear skies help make a nice spectator viewing, but it just makes the water a little rougher than maybe what these skiers would like.
All the skiers want fog. They don't want to see Catalina until they get right on top of it. The spectators, on the other hand, want a clean view of the race.
And look at that beautiful fountain offshore racing boat being driven by world-class driver Jim Duvall. That fountain boat is considered one of the great offshore racing boats and has been winning the races up and down the coast of California over the last couple of years. Jim has got the right equipment. It looks like he has the right skier.
Marty Wells, our leader. Mark Pickering in second. We'll be back with the Catalina ski race. More from Long Beach, California, the Queen Mary, the Spruce Goose, and the greatest ski race in the world after the short timeout.
This This is where the legend began, at places like Huntington Beach, Redondo, and Mission Beach, with guys who'd been to Colorado and discovered the beer made with pure Rocky Mountain spring water, a beer you couldn't get most places. Word spread and the legend grew. Today, people are thirsty for a lighter, more refreshing premium beer. Funny how the one they're looking for is the one that's been there all along. Original Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
Today, American Airlines will take people from all across America to someplace very special. Europe. Because American has brought Europe closer than ever before. With over 100 flights a week. American Airlines. As far as Europe is concerned, we've arrived.
Welcome back to the 42nd annual Catalina ski race. And while we were away, Dan, a very, very interesting story. Our leader, Marty Wells, is down, lost his grip, and is in the Pacific.
This is definitely a tough break for this young skier. He was out in front. He was with Jim Duvall pulling him. He had the best of everything. Now he can only hope to get back up and back into this race.
There we have a look at Mark Pickering, and he's by himself. We have a report that he's 20 degrees off course and headed completely in the wrong direction.
Oh, this is definitely a tough break for Mark Pickering. And Mr. Terrible comes out in front. What a break for this team. Kurt Schoen has won the race, as we mentioned, 3 times. He's going for a 4th win. He's got the Herbst brothers driving and navigating that boat. And number 27, Darren Kirkland, is coming up in 2nd place. A nice ride for these 2 great teams.
Mr. Terrible looks fantastic out there. Big boat versus not one, but now 2 smaller boats. Corey Cook at the top of your screen, Mr. Terrible leading in the middle of your screen, and Darren Kirkland down at the bottom. A 3-boat race as we head towards Catalina. The water smoothing out as we get into the shadow of the island.
These skiers are almost neck and neck across the sea. It's still anybody's race.
What's the difference here as we head towards Catalina and the midpoint in this race, the conditions for the big boat, Mr. Terrible, versus the 2 smaller boats on either side?
Well, of course, the bigger boats are more effective in the choppy or rougher water. It'll smooth out the wake for their skier. The smaller boats, if the conditions are just right, can go a little faster and can maneuver around the seas a little bit more effectively.
So we can look for Darren Kirkland, for example, now our leader in boat number 27 in one of those smaller boats that you were speaking of, comes into the lead as we head nearer the turnaround point inside Avalon Harbor on the island of Catalina.
Absolutely. It's anybody's race. It doesn't matter whether you've got a big boat or a small boat. They've both won this race. We'll have to see who's got the right combination of boat, driver, and team.
Now the conditions are extremely glassy. You see the reflection of the boat in the water. A moment before, you saw the reflection of the skier in the water, getting some encouragement on board from navigator and driver. They know that they're in a good position here near the turnaround.
Oh, these conditions are perfect for high-speed offshore water ski racing. You can see that everybody looks great at this point in the race.
Corey Cook from the top just bursts out into the lead as we were talking about Darren Kirkland and how good he looked. Number 714, Corey Cook, just crashes into the lead. This is just a rocket of a boat. 2 huge engines in the back there, everyone holding on for dear life. Corey Cook going 60, 70 miles an hour, once again headed for Catalina.
What a ride for Corey Cook. He must be feeling excited and energized. The adrenaline is pumping. He's in front of this great pack.
Has a great style. He's got to be careful now, does he not, Dan, coming into the turnaround. He's in the lead in one of those smaller boats. Looks very, very strong in his, again, Australian hold position. You can see him bouncing up and down. Would he be tired at all right now near the halfway point looking for his second win?
Well, I don't know if he's getting tired, but he's probably getting nervous, hoping that the other skiers don't come up and sneak up behind him as he sets his strategy to make the turn around the turnboat off of Catalina. As you can see, there's Catalina coming up in the background. This is an exciting point for these skiers. They know they're halfway home.
What a great sight. The skiers searching for Catalina Island as they leave Long Beach just 20, 25, 30 minutes ago. And finally, through the haze, they're able to see it into Avalon Harbor. And now the driver negotiating carefully, slowing so as not to send his skier outside the wake into some dangerous territory. They want to make this turn and then put the pedal to the metal and head for home.
You bet. Those spectator boats are right there. They want to get a front row seat to watch this exciting event. But they can be a problem for the skiers if they get in the way.
It's wonderful to have this spectator interest and support, but those spectator boats have to stay just outside the racing channel. Mr. Terrible making the turn in third position, coming gingerly around that course. Bigger boat, Dan, probably not able to negotiate that turn at quite a high rate of speed as some of the smaller boats.
Well, those big engines take a little bit longer to get that big boat going and to slow it down, so they've got to get around the corner.
Darren Kirkland having already made the turn. There you see him at the top of your screen in second place. So to set the stage once again, Corey Cook in first, Darren Kirkland in second, and Kurt Schoen, our defending champion, in third, being pulled by Mr. Terrible.
He is planning to attack from behind. You can see Kurt Schoen setting his strategy into place to try to win the 42nd annual Catalina ski race. His team encouraging him on, waving him on to go faster.
They look confident. I mean, it's hard not to in a boat called Mr. Terrible. Figure you're going to come back and stalk down and run past your opposition, even though they're in the lead. But right now, maybe they've left a little bit too much room between themselves and our leaders, Corey Cook and Darren Kirkland.
That may be true, Paul, but these skiers have come up from behind, and there's Darren Kirkland in second place. He's looking good, looking strong, and his boat is running like a top.
Conditions once again, Dan, seem to be ideal for the smaller boats as we're still in the shadow of Catalina Island in smoother water. This is the place where they would try to extend their lead, as has our leader, in fact, Corey Cook, in boat number 714.
It is a nasty offshore racing machine, twin turbo powered. That is one bad machine for offshore racing, and you can see that it is putting them into first place, giving Corey Cook, look at him, he wants to go faster.
He must be doing 70, 75 miles an hour now, headed back towards Long Beach, and he's asking for more speed, Dan.
He looks so relaxed, he looks so confident. He lets the hand off the rope, but I think he was going to tell the boat to go faster, but maybe changed his mind. The wake from the other boats coming over to the island is making that water a little bit choppier.
We have to remember that these are the leaders. There are boats headed in the other direction. Corey Cook still clearly in the lead, looks fantastic, his crew feeling confident. The question is, can he hold that lead with the smaller boat out in the channel as the seas get a little bit rougher and rougher? We'll be right back. The Catalina Ski Race.
It's the best territory there is, First Interstate Bank territory, because First Interstate has the best checking account there is. So you can cash your personal check for up to $1,000 in more cities and states than with any other bank system. And with a First Interstate Bank card, you can get cash all across the U.S. through Cirrus ATMs. So open a checking account at First Interstate Bank and discover how nice it is to have a bank that can go the extra mile for you.
K-Earth 101.
K-Earth 101, your oldie station.
K-Earth 101.
Welcome back to Prime Tickets coverage of the 1990 Catalina Ski Race. I'm Paul Sunderland with Dan Stiel. Corey Cook trying to hold on to an aquatic rocket, pulling him along the channel between Long Beach, California and Catalina Island, 62 miles round trip, now traveling, Dan, at approximately 70 miles per hour.
These guys are, look at this guy, he's barely holding on to the boat.
I don't know who's in more danger, the skier or some of the navigators or drivers in the boat.
Paul, these guys are not strapped into the boat. It's important to note that these guys could pop out, and there he goes. Corey wants to go faster and faster. He's looking smooth.
Strategy being possibly, Dan, he's in a smaller boat. He knows, well, the conditions are good early in the race, in the shadow of Catalina Island, smooth water. He's got to go as fast as he possibly can, but that can be risky.
It can be very risky. Anything could happen. He could run into a piece of submerged wood. Anything could happen to confuse this guy, to upset him. Look at the wakes. They're going through some kind of a boat wake right there, and it is throwing him off.
Traveling in these sorts of speeds, under these conditions, it's a little bit like the Formula One racer. You have to anticipate the worst. And here, Corey Cook goes through a tremendous bit of danger. You see the slack coming in on the rope.
Wow,
he gets completely airborne. Dan, what a recovery.
He is recovering very nicely. Look at the pounding his legs are taking. He's going 60+ miles an hour, strapped into his bindings. His ankles are taped. Safety is a big part of this race.
These racers clearly daredevils, not planning on going down, but if they do, they have to have all the necessary equipment. Mike Murata explained it. Mike, can you describe for us some of the special equipment you have on for today's race?
Well, I have a racing suit on that has 3 buckles, and it has a flotation device in it to protect the chest in case of a fall and also to keep you afloat. A helmet to protect your head. It has leather coverings to protect the ears, and goggles just to keep the water out of your eyes. I have a cervical collar on to protect the neck in case of a fall.
See, lots of the competitors have their ankles taped.
Yeah, it's just you're in a the type of bindings that you wear are suicide bindings, and it just protects your ankle, gives it a little bit of stability, and again, while you're skiing, and of course in case of a fall, just to give it some lateral stability and forward-backward stability.
All right, thanks for spending a minute with us. It looks like you're ready to fall. You're not going down out there, are you?
No. This is all show. No, just for prevention.
And there's Darren Kirkland in 3rd place. And there's a skier coming up. Will you look at that? It's Marty Wells has come in underneath our helicopter out there. Jim Duvall in that fountain is driving one heck of a race. Marty Wells is now in 2nd place behind Kirkland.
This is unbelievable to me, Dan. Halfway to Catalina, Marty Wells falls, traveling at 50 or 60 miles an hour. His driver comes back and picks him up, and he's able to get back into this race, and you have to wonder, what has happened to Mr. Terrible? No longer in our camera view.
It could be that Kurt is just laying back, waiting for the other skiers to either fall or tired out to make his final move. We'll have to see what happens, but right now, the big race looks like Jim Duvall pulling Marty Wells.
I still am amazed, Dan, that a racer is able to go down. This is not your average group of ski racers or ski boat drivers relative to equipment and talent. These are some of the world's best. He goes down, is able to recover, must have been an amazingly quick recovery, circle the boat in Avalon Harbor, and come back. We're about halfway back to Long Beach, and right now challenging the leaders. The leader, Corey Cook, they're just ahead of Marty Wells' boat, and Marty Wells' boat number 4 is just blowing by Corey Cook as if he's standing still.
Look at the power of that fountain just ripping right by Corey Cook. It shows you that when the conditions are right, those big boats have the power to keep it out in front. Look at these two neck and neck, and there he goes out into front place.
Marty Wells just flying by Corey Cook as some of the other traffic still going out to Catalina Island. They have to consider those wakes huge problems, but Marty Wells has decided that he's going to make his move right now, 70, 75 miles an hour, and he has made it. Not only has he passed Corey Cook, he's now passed the boat probably into a 200 to 300 yard lead.
This is really a moment for Marty Wells, leading the race, falling down, coming back from 5th place. Now he's leading the race. Jim Duvall, one of the great offshore powerboat racers, showing that he can not only lead the biggest and the best in offshore racing, he can do it in the biggest and the best offshore water ski race.
Marty Wells has come back and will be back with more of the Catalina ski race. Marty Wells, a tremendous comeback, back after the short timeout.
Because at this time of year, you can't hide inside a sweater.
It's the right beer now.
Because you know what to do when good times are on the line.
It's the right beer now.
After working hard to take it off, you don't want to put it back on. Reach for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
It's right. It's the right beer now. Oh, yeah.
It's the biggest territory there is. First Interstate Bank Territory. Because First Interstate has offices in more cities and states than any other bank system. So you can move anywhere across the territory and have your bank account and a warm welcome waiting for you. So open an account at First Interstate Bank and discover how nice it is to have a bank that can go the extra mile for you.
Welcome back to the Catalina ski races. The boats gather at the finish line in Long Beach Harbor. Let's take a second and visit with Chuck Stearns, 11-time winner of this great race.
I would say my favorite was the last time I won the race in '83.
And why was that?
Well, just prior to the race, I was inducted into the Hall of Fame back in Florida, Cypress Garden, or Winter Haven, Florida. And when I was inducted, they had a plaque that described 10 wins in the Catalina ski race. And then 2 months later, I came back and won it again, and I just kind of wrecked everything back there, because now what are they going to do? You know, it's 10 times. Now they can't change it to put 11, not once you're inducted into the Hall of Fame. So it was kind of a thrill because it was different. Well, it's a fast boat, and if the water's calm, we have a very good chance. It's very quick, and it throws a good wake for the skier. And the boat driver that's pulling me, his name is Ken Columbarrel. He's an old-time friend, and he's pulled me before. We practiced a lot. And many years ago, he has won the outboard class in this race. So the experience is there, and if the water's calm, we're going to have a pretty good race.
52-year-old Chuck Stearns, the legend in offshore racing, currently in first place in the 45 and over men's division, running about 25th overall.
Chuck Stearns, always a winner, and it looks like we may have a winner for the first time. Marty Wells, boat number 4, rocketing towards the finish line by himself at this point in time. Tough to be in the lead here, feeling a little bit of pressure, maybe 15 miles out from Long Beach Harbor.
Well, you've got to believe that he's a little nervous, and there's Kurt Schoen in third place.
I'd be a little nervous.
I'd be a little nervous with Kurt Schoen in behind me, that's for sure.
I saw that big red boat coming down behind me. I don't know if you can see behind yourself when you're going quite so fast, but I'd look out for Mr. Terrible. And you cannot forget about Darren Kirkland as well, number 27. Still in this race as well.
It is definitely a race for second place as Kurt Schoen sneaks up behind Darren. It's anybody's race. You've got to believe Kurt is waiting for Marty or Darren to fall or slip, mess up, so he can capture his 4th Catalina ski race win.
Same is true for all of these racers. However, you can see the water much choppier than just 40 minutes ago when these racers left Long Beach Harbor and got out into the channel. Just a little bit of breeze, the surf, the waves, the swells start coming up out in the channel. Much more of a challenge. Thus the waiting strategy of Kurt Schoen 48 minutes into the race. Kurt Schoen, with the conditions much tougher, the chances of a leader falling probably more in his favor.
Well, that could be. It's really anybody's race, but you've got that Jim Duvall and that beautiful fountain boat can bring him home. This is one of the great boats in offshore racing, and there's Marty Wells again, looking very, very strong and skiing one heck of a race.
What a beautiful shot, the skier's reflection down in the wake. And let's remember once again, Marty Wells fell on the way to Catalina, dropped back from his early lead position to 5th, has recovered after the turnaround, and is now blown past these other world-class skiers and world-class boats
into the lead and heading for home.
Tomlin's almost won this race last year, but fell at about this point, giving Kurt the edge. So Kurt knows what it's like to have somebody up in front. And look at the way Marty is bouncing way up in the air. Boy, anything can happen, I'll tell you. But Marty looks so strong, it's hard to believe he's going to fall.
Really does look strong. Unless he gets unlucky with a wake or some debris in the water, he is skiing as we see him changing hands here, loosening his grip in that Australian style, moving right hand behind, left hand out front. Clearly, he's skiing a thinking man's race right now, not just a physical one.
He's skiing at almost 70 miles an hour when he switches hands like that. Not something your ordinary recreational skier can pull off.
I'm afraid to change right hand to left hand on my steering wheel when I'm going 70 miles an hour. And here he is out here in the open ocean over wakes and bumps in the water, and he's just got the composure to change hands and continue in that strong technique. He's just looking great out here.
He is looking so very good.
Hits another bump. You can see the stress that this kind of ski racing puts on your body. Just for a second, focus below the waist. Thighs, calves, and into those suicide bindings, as you call them.
Our slow motion camera shows you the pounding those legs are taking. That's a 7-foot long ski, 2 inches thick. Look how it's flexing under the grueling waves of the Pacific Ocean.
Marty Wells just writing the book out here in this 1990 edition of the Catalina ski race. Down, strong, focused, and headed for the finish line, which now must be just 10 to 12 miles away.
He is riding a nice race. His team must be feeling good. Look at that, he's let go of the rope. I don't know what he's doing, trying to adjust his bindings.
This young man, very, very composed, relaxed, and everything under control right now. The conditions perfect for his boat, and he's telling his driver he wants more speed.
He just wants to go faster and faster. He's got the right boat to do it, too. That beautiful fountain, again, one of the best in offshore racing.
Marty Wells, our leader. Darren Kirkland in second. Kurt Schoen in third. It's a race back to Long Beach from Catalina. We'll be back on the Prime Ticket Network with our coverage of the Catalina ski race after this short timeout.
Come work, come visit, come play. It's a city on the water with sailboats and a harbor. Take a trip, see the sights. Long Beach, California. It's for young people, working people, moms and dads. It's a city on the water. Long Beach, California. Come visit, come work, come play. Call 1-800-234-3645.
It's the friendliest territory there is. First Interstate Bank territory, where thousands of people are ready to help you with your banking needs. Because only First Interstate has offices in more cities and states than any other bank system. So whether you're in your hometown or traveling out of town, come to First Interstate Bank and discover how nice it is to have a bank that can go the extra mile for you.
Welcome back to the Catalina ski race. Boat's the big story here. Yesterday I talked to Glenn Gill about his own Pure Insanity.
Hi, we're the Pure Insanity offshore racing team. We're pulling Tim Dubois from Australia this weekend. We have a 30-foot Scarab with a pair of small block Chevrolets in it, 350s, running in the production class, which is a stock type small block engines. The boat is intended as your average pleasure boat, and you go out and go racing. As I say, it's 30 feet long. We are running the open class. We're shooting for about an hour and 8 minutes overall. And with the water conditions, it's been a little rough out there, so we're looking in that neighborhood to be pretty competitive.
And Marty Wells out in front, Stiel leading this race by over a quarter of a mile, 15 seconds in front of second place.
As we watch Marty Wells heading for home, Darren Kirkland in second place, followed by our defending champion, Kurt Schoen, and again, Mr. Terrible, trying to stalk down the leaders.
Paul, we're getting some reports from back in the pack regarding an upset in the making. Lori Dunsmore in the women's division is leading the women. She's about 5 minutes behind Marty Wells. However, this race for the women is not over. There's a report that Lori may be having mechanical problems with her boat.
Well, the last thing you need out here on the open ocean, wakes, flying fish, sharks, debris, but you want to be skiing behind a boat that you know is solidly in control. We wish Lori all the luck as she head towards home. Rose Johnson, maybe this gives her an opportunity to win her 4th title.
Absolutely. It's still anybody's race in the men's division as well as the women. And you could see Marty got a little squirrely there for a second. Let's take a look at that in slow motion. You can see he's hit a wake, jumped up in the air, probably caught him by surprise. He's getting a little wobbly, but he's pulling it back under control. A champion in the making.
These athletes have trained long and hard for this race, and you don't make that sort of save unless you're in perfect condition. And once he's recovered, he's given it the thumbs up, asking for more speed. Up to almost 55 minutes. A record will not fall today. The condition's a bit too tough for that. And again, Marty Wells asking for more speed. Heading for home, Long Beach Harbor and the Queen Mary must be in sight. He's giving his driver the okay sign.
Marty Wells still leading this race. He placed 3rd last year. This could be a champion in the making.
Again, an unbelievable performance by Marty Wells. He falls on the way to Catalina, drops back to 5th place, rockets past Mr. Terrible, Kurt Schoen, our defending champion, and now, nearly 50 minutes into the race, the spectators have not seen the skiers since the start, and they anticipate the finish and the victory, if he doesn't fall, of Marty Wells.
Today, American Airlines will take people from all across America to someplace very special. Europe, because American has brought Europe closer than ever before. With over 100 flights a week, American Airlines. As far as Europe is concerned, we've arrived.
It's the best territory there is, First Interstate Bank territory, because First Interstate has the best checking account there is. So you can cash your personal check for up to $1,000 in more cities and states than with any other bank system. And with a First Interstate Bank card, you can get cash all across the U.S. through Cirrus ATMs. So open a checking account at First Interstate Bank and discover how nice it is to have a bank that can go the extra mile for you.
Welcome back to the 42nd annual Catalina Ski Race, and here's some anxious moms and dads waiting for their boys and girls to come back. Look at the spectators. Any moment, their favorite champions will be skiing around the bend to win the Catalina Ski Race. Lots of party atmosphere. The Catalina Ski Race has been held every year since 1949, held on the 2nd Sunday of every August.
You can see how it's grown. Thousands of people on hand at the race headquarters, the Viscount Hotel. There's the official welcoming committee. Every great event has its welcomers at the finish line, and there are those for the Catalina Ski Race. I love the top hats.
The Fighting Irish.
People enjoying a little refreshment, and so much is the life of living in Southern California. Little jet